Are we okay about question 46? Standard quantity will be 18.9 kilos. And if you want to know the SM, standard mix is simply given to us, which is 1 over 9. For B is 2 over 9. And for C is 6 over 9. Okay, let me see the second question, which is question 42, part B. Okay, let's have a look at question 42, part B. Okay, it's a longer question, right? So I suppose it's section C, question Psi. You pick this up. Discuss the implications of the learning effect coming to an end for MIC company with regard to costing, budgeting, and production. Okay, so generally, theoretically, I can answer this one without going through the whole scenario. What happens when the learning effect comes to an end? Well, when the learning curve comes to an end, it simply means that the employees have achieved maximum learning with which they could have achieved based upon their repetition. Meaning the time per unit has come to its lowest level. Okay, time per unit has become to its lowest level, and after that level, any subsequent units produced will take the same rate of time. Okay, remember when the production doubles from the first unit, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and so on. This is how learning curve works. So when the production doubles from the first unit, cumulative average time per unit falls, okay, by a constant percentage. So when this constant percentage starts working on the basis of doubling effect, there comes to a stage which is called as steady state. So up to steady state, we keep on reducing the time per unit. But after the steady state, there is no more time reduction, meaning we have achieved maximum learning and the time per unit has come to its lowest level, minimum time per unit. Then for all subsequent units, that minimum time per unit applies. So if we look at the impact of this, so labor cost for all subsequent units will be lowest. Labor related cost for all subsequent units will be lowest. Our selling price for all subsequent units will be lowest. Our outflow or cash outflow will be lowest for all subsequent units when we are buying, when we are spending money on direct labor or any variable type of overheads. Okay, and that was the question as well, that how it would help to make decisions. So our budgets are going to be more accurate or precise because we know that our employees have achieved the maximum learning, and afterwards we can actually apply incremental budgeting. Okay, we can apply incremental budgeting afterwards. Okay, and costing, of course, the cost of subsequent units will be as lowest as possible. Okay, anything else you want to ask about? I'm waiting for your questions, your comments, your questions. Najwa, I think I answered that question. What about cost per unit? So I think I answered that question, that cost per unit would become at its lowest level. Okay, and afterwards, that lowest cost per unit would apply to all subsequent units, assuming if the workforce doesn't change. If we have the same employees for the next financial period, we would achieve our lowest cost per unit and lowest selling price per unit. Okay. Under section B questions, I wasn't able to get answers for question 21. Okay, let me have a quick look. Question 21. Section B. Okay, wait a moment. section B. $21. Okay, let me have a quick look. Right, it's about life cycle costing. Okay, so if I'm looking at question 21, which is based upon the scenario, section B, questions 21 to 25, and you are interested in question 21. Okay, just give me one moment to read this question. Okay, so they're making two products, product 1 and product 2, right? They're given us development cost, variable manufacturing cost, annual incremental fixed cost associated, and then environmental cost, annual unit sales, unit selling price, lifetime of the product. Total budgeted fixed cost amounts to 28,000, of which 12,000 are costs for setting up each batch of production. The remaining overhead costs are absorbed on the basis of labor hours. Using life cycle costing, what is the unit cost of each product? Okay, now do we remember, as per life cycle costing, we accumulate all costs together. Okay, we accumulate fixed cost together. So what we are supposed to do, we will simply pick up all the cost, including development costs, then variable manufacturing costs, okay, based upon the number of units. Of course, variable cost per unit is given per unit. So per unit times by volume of units. And you would get the variable cost. And then incremental fixed costs. And then cleanup type of costs. Okay, environmental costs, cleanup or environmental costs, etc. Now, what's not there? Fixed cost is absorption on labor hours, which is not available. Okay, now that makes some sense. Okay, can you leave this question to me? Because you are right, actually, labor hours were not given. Labor hours in this question are not given. So there is little typo here, okay? They should have provided us with the labor hours. And then on the basis of labor hours, we could have distributed the fixed overheads between products 1 and product 2. Okay, you can, I mean, at this stage, I would expect you to ignore this question. Okay, reason being, because it's not complete. Okay, the question is not complete. There is a typing error. So there is no point working around something which is not complete here. Okay, I can assume some numbers, but again, that would be just an assumption. So I would say, please ignore this question, which has a little mistake. Okay, labor hours are not provided, I agree. And based upon this, we simply, 28,000, we can't just distribute this cost. Is that okay? Right, any more questions, please? So just leave that question 21, because labor hours are not given. Okay. Right, come on guys, come on. In the meantime, I can leave this screen for you, how you should be spending time tomorrow. Section A up to 55 minutes. Section B up to 60 minutes. And that leaves us with 1 hour and 20 minutes, which is approximately 80 minutes. And 80 minutes, if you divide 80 minutes to 2 section C questions, 40 minutes each, that's plenty of time to deal with each question of section C. Okay? And if you save any time from sections A and B, give that time to section C. Or if you still have maybe 5-10 minutes left, go back to section A and B and check if you can improve any answers. Also keep in mind, please keep on typing your questions, okay? But because I'm waiting for the next question, so I will keep on giving you my final word. Right, please remember, write answers of sections A, B and C only on the question booklet. Okay, you are not supposed to write any answers in the question paper, especially sections A and B. There would be separate specific pages given in the answer booklet for section A and B. So you must write your answers. You must provide your answers of section A and B in the specific sheets provided in the answer booklet. Whereas section C, you would be given the ruled lines or lined pages, and then in lined pages or ruled pages you can write the answers for section C. Right. For calculations, you can write calculations in the question paper. You are allowed to write calculations in question paper, or just pick up like this. Let's say this is your actual answer booklet, okay? And let's say you can put down here section A workings, okay? Right? And you can do any of the workings there, okay? Or you can write them on the question paper if you like, whichever you are more comfortable with. You are allowed to do workings in the question paper, just the answers, please don't tick any of the answers. So if it's like this, A, B, C and D, don't do like this, okay? This is what I was referring to. This is not acceptable. Okay, let me see another one. Are there any predictions on what questions will come on section C? Well, I wish I could tell you. Idea is section A has 2 questions and there are 3 exam areas or syllabus areas which can become part of section C. Okay, one is decision making, which includes relevant costing, linear programming, CVP analysis, pricing, and then uncertainty. Then second is the budgeting and variances, and the third one is performance evaluation. Okay, I suspect that section C would include 1 question on performance, performance measures whether the financial or non-financial, and second may be around budgets and variances, okay? Or examiner may put down budgets with sum of decision making. For section C. Okay. Okay, I have already mentioned this, that don't get me wrong, of course you are allowed to start any section you like. But what we have experienced, that students are a little bit more comfortable when they read short questions. So please warm up yourself with section A first. Start with section A, okay, right? Try to answer as many questions of section A first. Whichever question you feel is harder for you, don't waste time. Okay, just move on. Move on to section B. Again, try to answer as many questions in section B as you can. Whichever you think you are not very confident about, leave them and move on. Okay, just put a little mark like this that I need to come back here. I need to come back to this question. Okay, or maybe a little tick that I have to come back to this, or maybe a little cross that I have to come back to this question again. Okay, and move on to section C. So in one go, please do not stop. Any questions you can answer comfortably, keep on answering on a continuous basis and keep on moving. Okay, keep on moving. And likewise, when you will end up to section C, okay, then set yourself 80 minutes. Maximum 80 minutes. Okay, if you answer them in 70 minutes, 65 minutes, 75 minutes, brilliant, but maximum 80 minutes. And afterwards, go back to section A and B, whichever questions you did not answer, answer them. Okay, and if still you cannot answer any question from section A or B, just guess them. Okay, guess whatever your wild guess is, or just close your eyes for maybe a second and think what should be the best answer, which is closer to your perception. Okay, but please do not leave any section A or B questions, because your guess may be accurate and you will get 2 marks. Okay, so in my advice, my opinion, you should start with section A, then move on to section B, and then at the end, once you are fully charged up, okay, you have full attention focus, then look at the section C longer question. Because if you start with section C and you get stuck with section C, you may not have enough time to finish off sections A and B, and even easier questions you may start making mistakes. Okay, so set yourself 55 minutes for section A max, 60 minutes max on section B, and remaining 80 minutes on section C. Okay, and if you stop around any question, okay, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, just give up, move on to the next question, and keep on doing until you come to section C. Answer section C and then go back to any unanswered questions. Right, anything else? I'm still waiting for your questions. Okay, transfer pricing. By the way, you know, if you look at this question in front of you, okay, and let's, because people are just waiting, so we made up this question on transfer pricing. Please have a look at this. A sells finished products in the external market. So company has 2 divisions, which are A and B. Okay, division A sells finished products in the external market only, whereas B manufactures components which are sold to division A as well as to external customers. Head office has set a target ROI of 10% for all divisions. So head office target is 10% return on investment. Okay. Financial details of the 2 divisions are as follows. So here are the financial details of division A and division B. So we are given some external sales, some internal sales. Then we are given some costs, including variable costs and fixed costs. Variable costs of division A include the cost of the units transferred from B. And then they end up with the divisional profits and net assets. Okay, an external supplier has offered division B to provide 20,000 units of similar quality at a price of $55 per unit. That's the external price offered. And maximum external demand for division B is 5,000 units, meaning division B can only sell 5,000 units in the external market. So question is, determine the suitable transfer price for both divisions. Okay, think about this, how we should be answering this question. For division B, can I say, because division B has got this offer of $55 per unit, and at the moment division B is paying, how much? Well, division B is paying $70 per unit. Okay. Division B is charging $70 per unit to division A. So A is paying $70 per unit to division B. Okay. Right. Now, what do you think? I can wait for a moment. Think about this question. It's right on your screen. I can see. So division A will not like to pay more than 55. Is that okay? What if you have to work out minimum transfer price for division B and maximum transfer price for division A? What are you likely to do? So I can give you some tips about transfer pricing. Okay, because some people struggle about this area. First of all, we are given the head office target return on investment. Let's say that's 10% given in the question. Okay, it means both divisions A and B must achieve this 10% target. So what you should be doing, starting point, okay, calculate the target profit. How much profit divisions A and B must achieve in order to achieve the target ROI. Okay, we are given the net assets of division A and B. So net assets of division A are $8 million, because there are 3 zeros on top as well. So we can say 10% is the return on investment. So $800,000 is the minimum profit required for division A to achieve head office target. Whereas the net assets of division B are 1.5 million or 1500 here. Which makes up $150,000 of minimum profit division B must earn to achieve head office target. Okay, is that right? Okay, what is the situation at present? At present, profits of division A are only 600,000. Okay, can you see that? That at the moment division A is earning 600,000. So can we say for division A is short by $200,000. Division A is short by $200,000, right? Okay, so for division A, $200,000 is the money they need on top of what they are making at present, divided by 20,000 units they are buying, which gives us sorry, 15,000, I guess. 15,000 units they are buying. Okay, 15,000 units they are buying from division B. Okay, so on that case, 200,000 divided by 15,000, the cost must go down by 1333 per unit, meaning whatever transfer price they are paying at present, their transfer price should reduce by 13.33. So at present, the transfer price is 70 minus 13.33 in order to achieve the head office target. Maximum they can pay would be $56.67 per unit. Okay, maximum they can afford to pay to division B is 56.67 per unit, and they have got an external supplier who can provide them the same unit of the same quality for $55. So I think they would simply go outside the company and they will like to buy those units at 55, because not only they will achieve the head office target, they would make extra profit as well, better than head office target. Now, what about division B? For division B, minimum profit required is $150,000. Is that okay? Right? That's the minimum profit required. Now, they are already making some profit from external parties. They are selling goods externally 350,000. Okay, and they have some variable costs. Okay, so selling price is 70, variable cost is 40. So if I look at division B point of view to work out the minimum price, minimum transfer price, okay, contribution per unit is 70 minus 40, which gives me $30 per unit, and then total contribution from external sales, 30 into 5,000 units, which is $150,000. Then we take away fixed costs, which are 200,000. If there are no internal sales, then division B would be making a loss of $50,000. If there are no internal sales, division B will be making a loss of $50,000. Is that okay? Right. Now, what is the target profit? Target profit is 150,000. So not only they need to recover this loss, but they need to generate $150,000 extra profit to achieve the head office target. So meaning to say, total profit required would be $200,000 from division A, internal sales. So if we divide it by the number of units, which are 15,000, and that comes to 13.33. Meaning to say, what division B can do? Division B, they can charge variable cost, which is $40 per unit, and plus a profit of $13.33 per unit. So in total, transfer price will be $53.33 per unit. At the moment, they are selling for $70 per unit, but they can afford to reduce the price to $53.33. And then it gives them some idea to negotiate with the division A, that maybe they will charge $54, $54.50, okay, long as they can give division A a little bit better option than external supplier, maybe by 10 cents less, okay, it's acceptable. So idea is minimum will be $53.33 per unit, and maximum will be $55 per unit, okay, right? And I think it would be quite workable for both divisions. Now I'm waiting if there is any question because no question was coming on the screen, so I started discussing this with you, okay, which I had just made up myself. Okay, now any other question, please? I mentioned some of the articles, exam articles. So whenever you get chance, okay, that the link is there, okay? Right. If you are asked on how planning and operational variances benefit the company, what we can explain. Okay, so please listen to my words, okay? I simply don't have time to write down, so please listen to my words very carefully. Okay, planning variance explains why the variances were caused due to uncontrollable or external factors. Okay? Now, the knowledge of this information that the variance was caused by external or uncontrollable factor provides management plenty of time. Why? Simply because management knows that I don't have to look into planning variance to control, because if the variance has been caused by economy or by the social movements or by the society or external influences, I should not be wasting my time and my manager's time to control it. So number one, it gives management time to concentrate on something else, not on the external factors. Secondly, we also, when we calculate planning variance, it also helps us to compare our results with the industry results. That, for example, my variances or deviation or differences, my variances were, let's say, 20% adverse. But overall industry variances are 15% adverse. Oh, it simply means that we are worse than the industry, so there is 5% element which we can control. Okay? Now the operational variances are simply the reasons which are due to controllable or internal factors. That operational variances are caused by internal or external factors. Now this gives management a very good idea that what should we be doing for these variances. Well, try to improve the internal policies. So if the variances are relating to sales and variances are adverse, what can be done to improve selling price? What can be done to improve the sales volume? What can be done to improve sales mix ratio? What can be done to achieve overall better sales quantity variance? What can be done to improve market share? How we can change the location of the product to sell? What can be done to improve marketing? So it's all about internal policies and internal decisions. So management becomes more realistic when they know whether the variance was caused by internal factors or external factors. So they shouldn't be spending too much time on external areas, but they tell the managers that your operational variance is good, so please continue with your policies for the next period as well. And if the variance is adverse, so better plan is change your policy, and for the next year design better policy and better plan. So planning and operational variance, number one, it helps us in future plans. Number two, the knowledge of planning and operational helps to assess fair performance for the managers. Number three, managers actually understand what was the reason behind the variances so that they can try to control those reasons. Okay? So based upon minimum time, this is what I could explain. Right, now question from Dale. Number 27, okay. Is it section A? '27. Section C. Okay, sorry. Let me go to section C, question 27. Okay, it's about demand based, I think. 27. P equals to A minus BQ. Okay. Okay, so B is 1 over 500 and A can be 250 equals to A minus 0.02 and Q is 6,000. So I'm just checking if there is a typo, okay, or not. And then we can work out times by 6,000 and then I will add with 250. Okay, so A comes to 370 and B is 0.02. Right, let me see the question. The question suggests that the solution should be B equals to 10 over 500. No, I think, yes, you are right. It must be a typo. Because when I'm reading the question, it is 1 over 500. So it's not. Yes, so 1 over 500 is the right one. So thank you for identifying this. Okay, so these are some human errors. So maybe 1, 2, 3% mistakes we find in every book. Okay, so yes, you are right. It has to be 1 over 500. Okay. This is the right one. Okay. This is the right one. So in that way, A changes. A becomes 262. A becomes 262. So let's say if the answer is saying 0.02, all you can do is, okay, yes, all you can do is maybe change one word in the actual question. And when it says the price rise of $1, okay, you can make it $10. Okay, and that makes the question correct. Because the solution is based upon $10 change in price. Okay, so I think that's okay. Yes, there is a typing error. Right, anything else, please? Right, Dale, are we okay? So it was omission, okay? It was typo. No, there was no reason. I appreciate. It was simply a human error. Okay, right? So it was simply a human error. They should have mentioned that the units reduced by 500 for every $10 increase in price rather than 1. Okay. Right. Any question you want to ask? So if you get any time, maybe 2-3 hours, okay, please read some articles, especially on transfer pricing, performance evaluation, non-financial measures, environmental management accounting, okay. While doing the section C questions, do we need to write the formula? Sai, the answer is no. Okay, answer is no. You are not supposed to write the formulas for either section A, section B, or section C. Okay, reason is if you have time, write it. If you don't have time, don't write it. Writing the formula does not give you any marks, but putting the numbers in the formula gives you the marks. Okay, so to be on the safe side, it takes only 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Okay, write down the formula. That just in case if your final answer is wrong, markers may give you benefit of doubt. That, oh, maybe the calculator clicks went wrong, but the student knew the formula quite well. So if, in my opinion, I mean, we were always advised many years ago that you never know, that maybe just like, remember my previous, this question, even my calculator was showing 0.002, but here I mentioned 0.02. It does happen all the time. Okay, so writing the formula always makes sure that markers will feel that you know things. Okay, because section C is marked by physical markers. Okay, not the computer markers. Okay, so therefore it's better to be on the safe side. Otherwise, it doesn't earn you any marks. Right. Anything else, please? Right. My eyes are just on your questions. So if there is anything else you want to highlight or ask about. Yes, you are allowed to use pencils to draw graphs. Just make sure that your pencils must be slightly dark. Okay, that when you draw the chart, somebody can see them. Okay, some pencils are very lightly shaded. Okay, very light. And when we draw the graphs, okay, and they scan the answers and then send them electronically to the markers, sometimes markers cannot see the good scanning results. Okay, so I would advise use the markers, no doubt about this, sorry, use the pencils, but have to be slightly dark so that the lines are quite visible. Okay, but yes, you are allowed. Maybe you can get erasable pen, which works just like a pencil. Get a black erasable pen and you can erase as well, just like a pencil. Okay, under the mock exam, there was a question 8 under section A where they wrote answer was B. No, the updated answers have been uploaded, okay? So I know there were a couple of questions, their answers were incorrect because of gain typing error, but they have been long updated on the website. Okay, so you can double check. You are right. One was, I think, about the break even, and one was about the flexible budgets. Okay, so the correct answers had been uploaded the next day. Okay, one day there were some errors, but next day correct answers were uploaded. Okay, right, so that rectification has been made. Right, so any of the calculations, please remember, because you have limited time left till tomorrow, at this stage do not revise calculations from longer questions. My advice is that if any topic you want to revise for computations, for any calculations, pick up the MCQ section questions, section A and section B. Pick up any variances or A, B, C or throughput accounting or anything really, CVP analysis from section A and learn them from short questions. Rather than one question, longer question takes an hour to finish. But in 1 hour, you can finish maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 MCQs. Okay, so last few hours, spend more time on the section A and section B. And if you have more time, you can read some of the examiner articles, if not all, at least 2-3 articles, okay, especially the areas where you are weaker at, okay, non-financial performance, performance evaluation, transfer pricing, environmental management accounting, and a couple of hours of those articles, they will really help you. Okay, and also please keep in mind, have a reasonable amount of sleep before you go to the exam. I observe, because it's been years I'm in this education sector, a number of students don't even sleep throughout the night. No, please don't do this. Okay, at least 5-6 hours sleep refreshes your brain. Okay, and when you go to the exam, your brains perform a lot better. Okay, so have some sleep. Okay, should we send you email once we have done the paper? Yes, and that would be big feedback or appreciation from my side if you could email me what happened, how the questions were about, which questions you were confident about, which questions you struggled with, and especially what happened in section C questions, which topics were examined in section C, and in section A and B, which was like the most asked questions. Okay, you don't need to copy the questions for me, just topics which were covered. Okay, and how did you perform? And that would be a very big feedback. Okay, because ACCA doesn't give us this individual feedback, so I will send you the emails anyway. But again, if you don't get my email on time, please give me the feedback. Okay, and I would really appreciate it. Okay, section B, question 26. Yes, Najwa, what shall I do? Okay, it's about relevant costing, right? So questions 26 to 30. Right, it's a very long question actually. It is section B, but it's very long. So very quickly, let me have a look. Okay, so if I'm looking at question 26, okay, question is, what is the relevant cost of the materials? Okay, now there are 3 types of materials, A, B, and C. So first of all, I'm looking at material A. Okay, now the contract needs 150 kilos, right? We already have 100 kilos in stock. Is that okay? And net realizable value or resale value is $10 per unit. Cost price at the moment is 20 and it is not used for any other purpose. Meaning to say, we have 100 kilos already multiplied by opportunity cost. This becomes the cost of 100 kilos. And what about the remaining ones? What about the remaining 50 kilos? Remaining 50 kilos, their cost is $20, I think, per kilo. And that gives another $1,000, meaning to say, as far as materials A are concerned, relevant cost will be $2,000. Okay, I can look at material B now. As far as material B is concerned, we need 150 kilos. We have 100 kilos and it is in regular use. Whenever materials are in regular use, please remember, replacement cost becomes the opportunity cost. Sorry, replacement cost becomes the relevant cost. So it becomes times by 13, I think. Yes. So 150 times 13, which is 1950. And then for C, okay, that's the thing, you have to tell me what was the problem. 80 times 17 rather than 19. Okay, then in C, we need 80 kilos and we have 100 kilos and it is not used for any other purpose. It is not used for any other purpose. Okay, yes, then in that case, opportunity cost would be 80 times by 17. Okay. I mean, I agree with you, it's 17. Why are you saying 19? My problem is 80 times 17 rather than 19. Why 19? Because the material is not being used regularly, meaning the material is lying idle. Okay, either we can use this material on this project or we will sell it in the scrap market. So if we use the material in this project, we will lose money by not selling in the scrap market. Okay, so it is the loss of money or opportunity cost which is relevant. 19 is the cost value. But question is, if the material is not in regular use, why will we buy more materials if we already have 100 kilos of materials? If we already have 100 kilos of materials, why will we buy more materials if the material is not in regular use? Okay, the cost of the product only applies when the materials are in regular use. So replacement cost only applies when materials are in regular use. If materials are not in regular use, then it's mostly the opportunity cost or sometime disposal cost when we can't sell them in the scrap market. Okay, I hope I answered this question. Anything else? Najwa, are we clear? So please remember, replacement cost is only applied when materials are in regular use and we have to replace them. But if materials are lying idle, then opportunity cost becomes the relevant cost, opportunity cost of selling them in the scrap market. Okay, right, now it's the time to pack up, okay? But again, I would be on the emails, okay? I would be on the emails. If you get any questions, drop us an email. All the very best. Make sure, leave 6 hours for sleep, 5 to 6 hours for sleep. And apart from those 5 to 6 hours of sleep, make sure do as much as you can in the last few hours, okay? So, I mean, I don't know where are you based at. In the UK, it's 7 o'clock and we have plenty of time, okay? But if you are 7-8 hours ahead, so you are nearly there, okay? So maybe in few hours you are going to the exam anyway. So idea is simply this: make sure that you can spend some time on some of the areas where you feel weaker about, okay? Make sure get to the exam center plenty of time early. Okay, so if your exam starts at 10 o'clock, I'm just making up. If your exam starts at 10 o'clock, get there 8:30, 9 o'clock, relax. Okay, get there early rather than rushing into the trains and buses or driving. Okay, get there early, relax there. Okay, and any brief points you can revise, especially the formulas. formulas of the ratios, formula of throughput accounting, or any cost driver rates, or any demand based pricing, or maybe a little bit about learning curve, anything. Okay, make sure that you revise them. Okay, and make sure drink plenty of water so that you can brain works better. Okay, so please give me the feedback after the exam, sometimes tomorrow, whenever you have chance. Okay, take care, all the very best, and please give it your best shot. Okay, I know, I have full faith in you. You guys can do quite well, because the way you were asking over the last few weeks, it was great. You can do everything. Okay, so hopefully you would not see me again, because you would pass this exam. Okay, so take care, all the very best. Goodbye.